Today, we will be reviewing Malaysia Airlines business class service from Singapore to Kuala Lumpur. Our journey starts in the magnificent Changi Airport, which is currently ranked the second best airport in the entire world, only behind Doha's Hamad International Airport. Malaysia Airlines does not operate their own lounge in Singapore, and instead, passengers will be redirected to the SATS Premium Lounge in Terminal 2. However, given that the airline is in the One World Alliance, passengers actually have access to the Qantas, British Airways and Qatar lounges in Terminal 1, as well as the Cathay Pacific Lounge in Terminal 4. I decided to try out the Qatar Airways Premium Lounge, which is actually the hardest of the four to get into. Unlike the other three lounges, which also grant access to passengers by frequent flyer status, the Qatar Airways Premium Lounge only grants access to business and first class passengers. With business class tickets on these airlines costing thousands of dollars, this makes the lounge one of the harder ones to get into. And the second I stepped foot into this lounge, I immediately saw why they keep this lounge so exclusive. Despite being the smallest of the One World lounges at 700 square meters, this lounge is undoubtedly the best in the entirety of Changi Airport. Contrary to the other Middle Eastern carriers which love to adopt gold fittings for that extra bling, this Qatar Airways lounge instead focuses on a much more minimalistic design. Apart from the self-service buffet, this lounge offers an a la carte dining experience, something that is not common amongst business class lounges, and is usually instead reserved for first class passengers only. Given that the opportunity to visit such a lounge is hard to come by, I tried my best to sample a little bit of everything, starting with this Passenger Prestige Rosé Champagne, which retails at $100 a bottle. My first appetizers were these crispy shrimp tempura. They were fresh out of the kitchen and tasted pretty decent, just not up to the standard of an expensive restaurant. However, they do get the job done. Next up was my plate of assorted sushi. Honestly, there was nothing too special about this, and it tastes like something you would get at the local supermarket. Then came the mains, starting with this beautiful medium rare steak. I really liked the presentation, and this steak was cooked to absolute perfection paired with this amazing cracked pepper sauce. Next up was the mushroom and cream sauce tagliatelle pasta. Surprisingly, this dish was pretty light and simple, and the pasta was cooked perfectly al dente. I do, however, feel like it needed a pinch of salt more to bring out the extra flavor. After finishing off my pasta, I had a glass of Tattinger Brut Reserve, which retails for about $95 a bottle. While I'm definitely no alcohol expert, it tasted pretty decent to me. I then helped myself to some dessert at the self-service buffet, coming back to the table with some cake, tarts, cold cuts and cheese. Given that people often compare blue cheese to the infamous durian fruit, I decided to challenge myself to give it a try. Safe to say that like others who do not like durian, blue cheese is definitely not high up my list. At this point, I had eaten so much food and needed to walk around. So let's go check out the rest of the lounge together. Beyond the dining area, there's another smaller relaxation space. This space feels equally chic but is more private as it's sitting towards the back. Scattered around the lounge are these feature walls which promote Qatari culture with books and pottery from the region on display. Moving on to the toilets, I'm glad to report that they are kept clean. There is an attendant on standby to ensure that each room is kept up to standard after every use. Amenities are provided by the French brand Diptyque. There are 2 shower suites provided per gender. One comes with a toilet attached while the other does not. Each suite has ample space as well as a luggage rack for you to place your bags so that you can freshen up before your flight with peace of mind. Finally, it's time to board our flight. Do note that Malaysia Airlines operates out of Terminal 2. This means that you should allocate more time to take the SkyTrain in order to get to your gate on time. Whilst business class passengers usually get priority boarding, I was actually one of the last to board. This was because I misjudged the amount of time taken to go from Terminal 1 to Terminal 2. Today's flight is operated by a Boeing 737-800, a single-aisle narrow-body aircraft. Hence, the seats you see on board are not quite as good as the ones found on the wide-body aircraft meant for longer haul flights. The seat was like a recliner style, rather than the lie-flat business class seats you would see on Malaysia Airlines flagship aircraft such as the A330 and the A350. Just seeing how loose the leather was, you could tell that the aircraft had definitely seen better days. However, the seats were still comfortable, and the ample legroom provided would suffice for this ultra-short haul flight. Although there was an in-flight entertainment screen provided in business class compared to economy, it was rather unresponsive, which made it impossible to use. There was a pre-departure drink service, but no alcohol is served on board these shorter flights. Hence I opted for an apple juice. The safety video definitely has its quirks, which makes for a very interesting and entertaining experience. Shortly after departure, the meal service began. I opted for the prawn dumplings, which tasted like every other microwavable frozen ones you would find at the supermarket. It is served with some sauce on the side, as well as 2 packets of salted peanuts and a piece of chocolate. At this point, I had so much food and I wasn't really feeling it anymore. And just like that, 33 minutes later, we touched down in Kuala Lumpur. If you like this video, please like, share and subscribe. Thank you.